Alright guys, so I am out here on the river. One of my favorite little spots when I don't have a lot of time for gold is this little stretch of creek. Right after that waterfall, for some reason I seem to get a whole lot of fine gold down through this little stretch. So I'm just continuing to work it. I've already worked it a couple times, and usually after a big flood or something, we get some nice water in here. It moves from bank to bank, and it's just a great catch right here for fine gold. So I've already classified out a bucket, well, almost a full 5-gallon bucket, and I'm going to be running that through my double drop riffle sluice. There's a lot of clay here, a lot of white clay, blue clay, and gray clay, so I don't really like using the bazooka. You can use the bazooka here if you classify first and then dump it in the bazooka, but with this clay being so sticky, this other sluice seems to do really well. And you can see where I've set up little wing dams for sluices in the past here. Anyway, so I'm going to classify out some buckets and then show you guys if I find anything. Okay, so I just got done setting up my sluice. Here, how's she looking? Might be running a tad fast on the back side here, but I can always raise that back end up and I'll slow that down. But right now it looks good. I want pretty good flow to get rid of the lights. And this double drop riffle is kind of like the gold hog matting, and then it needs a lot of water to work. It's got drop riffles that you see, and then it's also got about 1/8 of an inch grooves cut inside on these riffles. Some of them in the front, some of them in the back, some of them in the middle, and then some of them are sloping at a back cut 45 degrees. So anyway, I'm fixing to start feeding it, and let's see how we did in this first bucket. If not, I might have to move. I might have to move areas. I didn't do too good. This is real pockety type area, so I'll hit one little pocket that's really good, and then there'll be wide expanses of this creek where there's really nothing. Alright, so as I was feeding my sluice here, I went ahead and did the sample pan. And this is what was in my sample pan. That's why I love this spot. Got about 10 in there, plus some smaller ones. So I'm fixing to clean up this little sluice here and see what's in there. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Alright guys, as promised, here's what was in my first cleanup of the sluice. It's pretty much like I thought, a lot of fines. Nothing very big, but there's enough there that will make it keep on looking. And that's just a quick pan. There's probably some more hidden under the black sands, but pretty cool little spot, I'd say. And poke around on the side here some more and see if I can do any better. That's an old tailings pile right there. I do believe on the back side of it, underneath those rocks, hasn't been worked. So dig that way some, see if I can find maybe some bigger pieces. Alright guys, so I just run me a second bucket of classified material. I was working more on the clay layer, and it's already, the gold's looking a little bit better. Apologize, it's hard to get this camera to adjust. I got another camera coming. I demolished my regular camera, got some sand in the lens and ruined it, so I actually bought another one just like it off Amazon. So in the meantime, I'm using my backup camera, and it doesn't adjust as well with the loop, but I should have that here in the next week or so. But there's my take so far from the second bucket, and I'm still in the same general area. Working right in there. Alright guys, so I just did a sample pan of that clay that I took a picture of with the GoPro. Here's what was in it. There's one right there. And all that. About 10 little specks. So that's some pretty good stuff. I just wanted to show you guys something I made. This is my bucket classifier, and I'm using a pressure fit to keep it on there. Basically, this piece of the bucket is from a shorter area, a smaller area, and I had to hammer it on to get it to stay. It's some hardware cloth. This didn't cost me anything because I had the hardware cloth laying around, and the bucket was one that had holes in it, so I'm using that to screen down this material and classify it out. So it just goes to show you don't need big expensive $20 classifiers or anything like that. Alright guys, so I'm still working the same area, and I just did another sample pan to see if I'm still in the gold where I was going to be digging. That was all in one pan. Granted, it's an 18-inch pan, but one pan nonetheless. So it's looking like a pretty good day out here. I gotta go get some food here in a minute. Got my lunch packed, so I'm gonna do that. Take a break. Here's how the spot I'm working is looking. So this is one benefit of being friends with landowners. You get to park your car off the road on their property, and nobody knows it's there except you and the landowner. So I encourage you guys to try to make deals or whatever you can do. Get on some private property. Alright guys, here we go. Here's bucket number 3. Let's see how this one turns out. And I might have to adjust how I got it set up because I changed it a little bit. I opened up some of the rocks up there because there was a huge fish down here trapped, so opened up them rocks and he got back in that big pond up there. I'll probably set the rocks back up before I leave, but see how this thing's feeding now. Yeah, not good. I'm gonna have to change it. Okay, so I decided to go do some sample panning upstream. And I found an old bottle. Well, not an old bottle. Some kind of bottle. Right here. I just dug it up. And I figured I'd go ahead and sample some of the dirt around the bottle just to see what was there. And man, I was surprised. Check out all these finds that was in there. Pretty nice, huh? So I know where I'm going to be digging now. Alright guys, so here's where I'm panning. Right on that corner. Right in front of this tree. And it's looking like it might be a pretty good spot. Here's my second pan from this spot. And the weird thing is, if you go upstream, there's no gold right up there. I just panned all that. But I mean, my second pan from right there, that's what was in there. So, for some reason, this is being a catch-all. I guess because at flood stage, the water probably rushes through here and then swirls in front of that tree, drops out the fine gold. So, I'm going to work this area a little bit, see if I can get down to a clay layer, false bedrock. But it's looking pretty nice. I might have to check this one out further another day. I'm getting hungry and it's getting late, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay. Alright, so I'm still working this little corner I found. And this is what was in, I guess, pan number 3. Apologize, it's not the best picture. It's kind of a glare. See if I can turn this a little bit, get rid of that glare. So yeah, a lot of finds on this little corner. Alright guys, so this was what was in the spot I was panning upriver. Keep in mind, I didn't pan that long. A lot of 100 mesh and sub 100 mesh. And then big ones are probably around 80 mesh. But there's that. To give you an idea, here's my last Thermal City trip, how it compares. It's a whole lot smaller than this other spot I was at. And I still got to pan out the cons from the other spot I was working. Alright guys, so here's the first spot I started out when I was sluicing the buckets. This is my concentrates from that. This is 3 5-gallon buckets. I must say it looks pretty nice. There's a lot of fine stuff in there. It's good for the East Coast anyway. Alright, here we go. Here's my close-up with the loop. This spot's got a lot of fine stuff. all down through the sides over here. And all up the middle. So I'd say it was a pretty nice haul. There's that. And then my Thermal City trip from before. There's still some gold out there, folks. Just got to get out there and look for it.